Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Mafex John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum John Wick action figure, aka Keanu Reeves, in all black. We'll do a question of the day right away. Which John Wick movie did you think was the best, and which one did you think was the worst? Now, I've only seen up through 3, so I think 1 is the best and 3 is the worst. I've heard 4 is actually a step in the right direction, and maybe even better than 1, though. So let me know what you guys think, and I still need to go see number 4. Okay, so this figure, not a whole lot of unexpected stuff going on here, but we're going to review it because he's in all black, and I thought you guys might like to see it. So let's go ahead and get him off the stand and take a closer look. Alright, before I show you the figure, I will show you my package. I got that thing in the front there on accident, but whatever, you can tell. You can see right through the clear part, and you can see whatever's in there. Normally it's the action figure and accessories, and it looks pretty good. The color scheme, I'm guessing that matches the original promo, like artwork and posters and things for the movie. I don't remember. I'm guessing that's the case. But yeah, it's a good packaging. Mafex tends to do a good job. Lots of posability over here. That's very nice. I like that. Or not posability, but posing options. It's basically all just standing straight up and down. But that's kind of what John Wick does. He stands straight up and down and does a lot of shooting, sometimes a roll or two. So I think that'll work out. Okay, alright, good packaging. Let's move on to the actual figure, and this guy is in stock at Big Bad Toy Store. If you're interested in getting one, I'll put a link in the description below. You can check it out there. But watch the review first. This guy stands just about 16 centimeters. That's going to make him roughly 6 1/4 inches. Here he is up against a Marvel Legends figure. He could easily be blended in. He's a little bit short, I guess, but he's not a superhuman, so you could definitely do some fudging if you wanted to. They're about the same size. Okay, we already did a question of the day, so let's get into the aesthetic on this guy. It is all black PVC. I don't know for sure if it's technically a different material or a different color right there for the shirt underneath. It might just be more wrinkly, so it looks a little different, but it's basically all black PVC. We do get some color differentiation. The tie, I don't know if it's painted, but it's at least a little bit darker, a little bit shinier, so there's that. Same thing with the belt. The belt would have to be painted, I assume. I guess it could. No, it is a separate piece. Same thing as the tie. Could be a different type of material, but it's at least a little bit shinier. They painted the buckle on there nicely. The shoes are shiny. And then, did they paint the buttons on the coat? I'm not sure. If they did, it's not super noticeable. I think they did. Now granted, all black is all black, so it's hard to differentiate when you're trying to actually keep it black. It looks like there's a little bit of a different finish on there, so I'll give it to them. Unfortunately, the elbows and knees have that same difference because they're hard plastic, but I'll say overall it looks pretty good. For what they can do for a realistic all black suit, I think it's fine. I think they could have done a little bit more differentiation, just play with it just a little bit, maybe make the shirt underneath a little bit darker, that kind of thing, but it generally looks nice and the sculpt is good enough. For the face, I do think it's a pretty darn good Keanu. The nose is a little bit big, but it is pretty darn good, and the scuffs and scratches and things, and then also the beard, very nicely done. Unfortunately, they did the same thing with the widow's peak there in the hair that the last one had for me, which is it doesn't really line up that well, and it's not painted black enough to match the rest of the hair, so I get what they're going for, but it doesn't really work, and painting that a little bit darker, or not doing it at all, would be much better. Like having the sculpted hair just come down a little bit more to a point would be much better than that. Now if at a real distance it might look okay, but up close it looks pretty goofy to have that triangle painted on his forehead. So I would say get out some black paint and make it a little bit darker so that it's less noticeably different than the hair. But the sculpted hair is really nice. Overall, it's a pretty good looking figure. Not perfect, but for what it is, I think they did a decent job. I will give it an 8 out of 10. That widow's peak throws it off a lot, if you ask me, because it's his face. Okay, for accessories, we do have that head, then we have another head, which is kind of like an angry head, I guess. Same general problems and good things, so there's that. We get a whole bunch of hands, tons and tons of hands, including one where he's holding, what is it, a rosary thing? I guess that's rosary beads. Yeah, looks like it. And yeah, so bunches and bunches of hands. That's really good. You get the book from the one scene, so that's cool. You get his shotgun, which looks really nice. It's like only for in the process of loading it, it looks like. So that's again for a specific scene. You get what is, I'm guessing, a wakizashi, which is pretty nicely done. That's good. You get his belt. So I guess you could pop him in half and take his other belt off. That would make sense. You get what looks to me to be an AR platform 9mm rifle. So it looks like a 9mm mag to me, but it's pretty nicely done with the optics and everything. Pretty cool. I don't like that the mag is clear and empty. Clear is fine. They make those, but empty is kind of useless. Maybe that's from the movie specifically. I don't know. I don't remember. And then you get the 2 handguns. One looks to be a Glock, custom Glock, and the other one looks to be a 2011. Both very nicely detailed. So those guns look really good, and I think overall for the accessories, I'm gonna have to go 9 or 9.5 out of 10. I don't know what the deal is with that shotgun. I'm not familiar with that particular shotgun. I don't know if that's just the way it looks and they keep like 1 extra shell on the side. That's what it looks like. It looks like a clip. So maybe that's fine. Maybe he doesn't have to hold it like he's reloading it. So yeah, 9.5 out of 10. Good accessories. Let's see about the articulation. I'm guessing it's going to be basically the same as my last John Wick review, which I'll put up there, or you'll find it in the description below if you're watching on mobile or TV or something. I don't know how it works. Probably TV, I guess. So the hair gets in the way, for sure, but you do have your double ball peg at the top of the neck, single ball peg at the bottom of the neck. It's going to be really limiting, though, the hair. It's, I mean, it's going to probably be fine for John Wick, but for anybody who wants to put him in, like, really dynamic poses, it's going to be pretty limited. Now, for the shoulders, it's not the best setup. Did that work? Yeah, I guess that works. You have to pull really hard, and it worked. I thought for sure something was going to pop out. So the butterfly joint, it's not bad. It's pretty good looking for a butterfly joint. They tend to be ugly, but I think it'll be enough to let him look good from the front. It looks really fine from the front, and I think you'll be able to get him to hold his guns pretty well. It would be nice if he had an extra swivel in here, but I don't think you're going to really need it. I think you'll be able to get him to hold his stuff. So that should be okay. Yeah, it's a decent butterfly functionally. It took a lot of force. Maybe you'll have better luck. Maybe the more I use it, it'll work. It gets uglier the farther out it goes, but it is functional enough. Alright, and then for the arm, you can just raise it up on that ball hinge pretty well. And you're going to get your full rotation. It's going to come at a steep angle, though, because of the coat design on that butterfly joint. And then you do get your bicep swivel up there, up in the shoulder. Alright, double jointed elbow. That's fine. Nothing special, but it's fine. And then little tiny ball hinges for the wrist. That is also fine. The tie is just a soft piece. It doesn't pose at all. The torso articulation. He leans forward pretty nicely, leaning back. You're not going to get a ton out of it with the coat, but it still works pretty well. That is not bad. And then side to side works pretty well too. And you get your twist. Yeah, I think that's fine. For a suited figure, this is not too bad. He does have drop down hips, which I know a lot of you just absolutely love. He's not going to be the most dynamic poser. And about 90 degrees total, so 45 for each leg. Pretty limited there, bringing the leg forward. You have to use that drop down, and then it comes up to horizontal. Like, yeah, he'll be able to pose, but he's not going to be the best looking, and that it should be much higher up. That his leg's coming out too low for that pose. So the crotch isn't flexible enough. So yeah, it's like I said, it's not going to be the best poser. Thigh swivel is minimal. Single jointed knee, only about 90 degrees, and it's glossy and round and goofy looking. And then for the ankles, you can bring the toe down a little bit. You can bring it up a little bit. It feels like it's on a ball peg in there, so you can adjust it for the pants, but you still get very, very minimal range. Ankle rocker is just enough for like getting his feet level, basically. Then the toe hinge is too loose and maybe a little bit too far back. He's got the big long pointy toe shoes, but still it's a little bit weird, but it's definitely too loose. So yeah, his articulation, it's going to be good enough to be in a basic John Wick pose. I wouldn't expect much more than that. Oh, the shoulders do come down also, which is kind of useless. I don't know why that's a thing. I don't know why you need that. Maybe it just happens to do it, not that they really cared about it. So there's that. Okay, so yeah, articulation, I'll give it a super generous 7. Suited figures are hard, so I'll give him a little bit of slack there, but it's nothing special at all. And now it's time for the final verdict on this guy. Looks pretty good, lots of accessories, poses well enough. I think it's a fine pickup if you want this version of John Wick. Don't expect it to be anything it's not, especially after you've watched this review. You know exactly what you're getting. So with all of that said, if you want to get it, you'll enjoy it. If you don't like any of the things I told you, don't get it, because they are definitely things to be concerned with. It's not going to do anything extra. It's just going to be basic John Wick poses, and it's going to look good enough and have cool accessories. That's really it. So I'm going to give it, for Mafex, I guess you could say 8 or 7. You pick. If you're inclined to like it, you'd probably give it an 8. If you're disinclined to like it, you'd probably give it a 7. That's the way I would look at it. It's certainly not a 9 or a 10, no matter how you look at it, though, if you ask me. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you should. I have new videos just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.